Okay, so hopefully this will be quick. Just went to J-Town, Japantown that is, in San Francisco. They've basically redone that basically that main shopping center, Kinopikuya. It's hard to figure out how to pronounce it, but it's the main one with in between the two buildings, I guess. There's an east and a west side. There's like a pagoda that's right there, and then the big courtyard, and they're doing that, and a couple of shops. And I haven't been back there in years. I don't usually head out that direction much. I decided to go check it out. Might be some cool stuff. I have my kids over, and so we went around, ate there for lunch, had some mochi donuts. Yeah, it was all right, pretty cool. But I would say a lot of the stores now are kind of the same. There's a lot of these places that are selling like these trinkets, not quite Labubu, but I think they do have some, but stuff that you can hang off your bags, something furry, something cute, stuff like that. Or there's like a lot of some sort of manga or anime related stuff with like a lot of like, I don't know, pins, little posters or images, and maybe stuff for your phone. I don't know. There seems to be like a lot of stores like that, that are almost identical, and that and hair clips and like little, mm, you know, it's like feel like going into Claire's or something a little bit. Anyways, but there are a few places where you can like do the games and pick up some prizes with a little claw, which I don't like doing too much because they're usually butterfingers slip. You'll end up wasting a lot of money, but sometimes I can get lucky. But I was interested in checking out the Gashapon stores. There's a couple of them. There's a little vending machine. You put in a couple of coins, or rather tokens, and they spit out something blind. Right? You can't really choose. It's just whatever drops down, and hopefully you get the one that you want. And you can't really see what's going to be dropping next. But anyways, I just split the tokens between what I wanted, and then I got a couple extras to just help my kids pick something that they might want to, try it. I was interested in the cameras, the little mini cameras. I think those are pretty cool. I think they have a couple of series or sets, because I know, yeah, they're not all exactly the same. I think there's at least 2 series, and the ones I wanted was the ones based off the more retro cameras. I'm not into. I guess this series just looks like it's based on Canon cameras. So just take a closer look here, and pretty cool miniatures. Yeah, they look like they're all like what is this? EOS R1. It's like a new. I think it's the new kind of flagship mirrorless camera. I cannot read this, so I need to use my Google Translate. But it looks like it has something to do with probably this camera here is what it looks like with the rangefinder. That's what I like though. There's like a EOS 5D that may still be like the top like digital camera, well, with the mirror, that is. This is mirrorless and full frame, of course. And what we have here are some vintage ones. This was I'm more interested in the FD550 FD. The Canon FD, sorry, with the 55mm f1.2 lens. This one would be cool. It's like an old film style camera. That would have been a really nice lens, a 55 f1.2. This one is another rangefinder. Or this is one of the rangefinder. This is not rangefinder. This is a regular mirror, film camera. This one is the Canon 7S. It's a vintage film camera with a 50 f 0.95, so that's pretty expensive and very nice, super fast, bright lens, excellent bokeh, whatever how you pronounce it. And then I call this a Serenar. I think this is a lens. I'm sure this says it's Canon on top. So this is Canon, I don't know, 4SB. Anyways, it's an even older rangefinder style camera, and wanted to use scissors, but they're a bit far out, so I'm going to carefully use this knife to cut that out. And Let's just have a closer look at this and score. I mean, I would have been happy basically with any one of these three. I think my friend got me one when he was in Japan. I asked him to pick him up. I think it was focused on Nikon or Nikon, depending on how you want to say it. But it was one of these fat DSLRs. Which is cool, but it's not really, it's like a 1DX or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. But I wanted to do one of the vintage rangefinder cameras, which they did not have, or even the digital kind of vintage style like film camera that they have, which I used to own, which was a Nikon ZFC, and then later on they had a full frame version, which was the Nikon ZF. Great camera. And I'm into camera gear, but admittedly I don't have one now because I don't know what this is for. Because I just don't use it enough, unfortunately, and I figure I could use the money towards something else. Here's a quick look at the. Turn on the light on this side. Maybe I might get better lighting. There you go. I don't know if I would consider that a sensor in there. Probably not. But you know, there would be one in there. It's a rangefinder camera, if you know how that works. You know, you just focus. Here it's always manual, I think. And then you look through this viewfinder, and then this one kind of. Basically, there's a triangulation going on, and basically these two patches. Once they have alignment, that's when you have your point of focus, and you know, you choose on this. I'm not familiar. I'm pretty sure this should be likely the film rewind. Probably something pops up and you roll it when rewind it once you you know, get to the end of the roll of film. Hot shoe. Pretty sure it's a hot shoe. I don't think it's a cold shoe. And what does that say? The Canon camera company. Is this the model number up here? So hard to see. But anyways, then there should be a shutter control. Aperture will be right here, and there is no ISO. Your ISO is your film. So it's when you know, film speed, as they call it, 400, 800, you know, whatever. The higher it is, it can do lower light, but then it gets generally more grainy as a result. Very similar to digital film principles, but anyways, let me see, where would this should be the shutter button on this one, and I am not completely familiar with this particular rangefinder. I don't think this would be the film rewind. This should be over here. So one of these should be, basically you only have the shutter speed on one side and stuff. Maybe, unless one of these could be for timing for shutter release. I don't know. Here's a lens, and it looks like it's fast, but it's got a little bit of a scratch there. No big deal, but here's usually the bottom of it, where you would put your finger along the bottom and kind of move it to adjust the focus. And it should fit in just like this. So I wonder, is it a specific size and shape? Yeah, actually, it kind of looks like it might be, but almost certainly that this lever should be on the bottom. And I wonder, there's usually this thing that is lined to the top, if I'm not mistaken, but I'll try it. See, definitely right there it goes in, and nowhere else. So yeah, I think it is. There is a specific shape to it, and put it in. And there you go. Pretty simple, nothing fancy at all. And here's where you unscrew it and open at the bottom, and this is where you just load in the film, and then you close it up, lock it down, and you know, snap, advanced snap, and then you look at the shutter. Some place to show you what your shutter count is. It's probably, I think maybe it might be a little window somewhere in there, and there you go. 24 frames, maybe what, 36 if you, depends on what kind of film you have. But yeah, I like it. I always like the retro cameras like this. I wish I could afford a Leica. That's really nice. I've held one and I tried one before, but man, I mean, at least back in the day, maybe 5, 6, 7 grand-ish for a new one, and then the lenses are almost as much, if not even more expensive than the camera itself. And so, I mean, a simple setup, you can easily look at well over 10 grand just for a fairly basic camera setup. But it is a unique shooting experience. It would be nice if Canon and Nikon brought back their somehow brought back a rangefinder system into digital age, like Leica. Fujifilm makes something. I used to own a Fujifilm, several ones, and mostly in the rangefinder style, but they're not really truly rangefinders. Just the way they work, they don't really have the true optics of the one. The only other digital rangefinder would be there's a handful besides Leica. They don't make it anymore, but Epson actually made a pretty cool one. It had these analog gauges on top, and it was like a APS-C size sensor and stuff. But pretty cool though. I wouldn't mind picking up one of those, but they're not exactly inexpensive either, and I worry about how and where to get that particularly serviced. But that's it. Probably longer than it needed to be. It's very simple, but I just wanted to talk about, you know, my interests and anything around something like this. Okay, so thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.